What's up, homies? I went to go see Scream 7 last night, and I have thoughts. Low effort movie reviews. I will not be spoiling anything in the front end, so I will let you know when spoilers are coming. I would be really pissed off if someone spoiled the movie for me, so I would not do that to you. I really love the Scream franchise. That would piss me off, so I won't do that to you. And if you're here looking for the Spyglass Melissa Barrera controversy, I did already talk about that. That's on my last video. If you want to go check that out, you can. So getting straight to it, last night when I left the theater, I felt very underwhelmed with the third act in particular. However, I still felt like the buildup was pretty good. I wanted to give it like a 7.5, kind of a soft 7.5, but a 7.5. After sleeping on it, I still feel extremely underwhelmed and hated the third act. I feel the beginning half of the movie maybe wasn't as strong as I thought it was, and now I'm feeling more like it's like a 6. To compare it to another movie in the franchise, I think it's most like Scream 3, the most controversial Scream. I do think that the beginning half of the movie, or the first 2 acts, are better than Scream 3. I think the buildup was worth it and doing a good job in entertaining me, and felt like a social commentary that made sense for the franchise. The third act completely just dropped the ball real bad. Some of the positives for me, it was really nice to see some of the legacy characters come back, see the original director come back. I actually saw Nev and Courtney have producer credits on this movie, which I thought was really cool as well. There are pretty funny parts in this movie that actually made me laugh out loud, so I enjoyed that a lot. The comedy was something that I did not expect to be so high in the movie. The kills were creative and fun the entire time. There's a kill in the movie that reminded me of the quality of like a Michael Myers kill. I think anyone who's like a big Halloween fan, when that kill happens, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There are 2 kills in particular. The one I was just referencing, and another kill where the CGI is a little bit overplayed, but the kills are creative and fun enough that you don't mind too much. The dynamic between Nev and her daughter was actually a pretty interesting dynamic. It could have been better the way that they showed it, but I do think it made sense. Scream is always supposed to tell some type of social commentary about what's going on at the moment, and I think that was a good enough driving force to move forward after having to scrap what you set up in the last 2 movies because you fucked up with Melissa Barrera. I like what they did with Courtney Cox's character. Gail is now on the fall off portion of her career, as J. Cole would say. She's still trying to make something out of it, move forward and propel herself forward, and maybe kind of coach the next generation of her. I do think it's a little weird that one of the twins is just trying to like become her and wants to be the next Gail. I would like to say there's more to my positives. I don't think I have a lot more positives to talk about, unfortunately. With all that being said, I still feel like I like the first 2 acts. The third act just fumbled so hard that it made me not like it as much. If they would have really nailed the third act, I think this would have been a good movie. I think it would have been the same rank as like Scream 5 and Scream 6. It would have been good additions to the franchise. I wouldn't have been upset about it, and I would have thoroughly enjoyed this movie and been like, this is a great Scream movie. Now let's talk about some negatives. I hate the opening sequence of the movie. I think it's creative to try to get back into Stu's house, but I think it's so fucking weird that you would bring people to a place where a real murder happened as an Airbnb attraction. To me, that's like making Amityville an Airbnb. It just doesn't make sense. In my mind, I would like to think no one would ever do that. That also leads me to the trailer. I think the trailer showed way too much. The trailer showed almost everything interesting about that scene, and that scene is really long, just feels drawn out for no reason. And the trailer also shows a lot of the good moments of the rest of the movie as well, which really bothered me. And talking about the opening scene being a little bit drawn out, feeling long, I felt that way about a few scenes in this movie. There's just a couple times in this movie where I just feel like the scene's going on just a little bit too long. That was something that was holding me back a little bit from loving it up until we got the kills. The kills really started bringing me back in the movie. I hated Tatum's group of friends. I really wanted to like them. I just couldn't. And I think that held me back a little bit too, because you're supposed to somewhat like them. The twins, for instance, were a good addition to Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega's Scream movies because you actually enjoy them. I just wasn't feeling that with this new group of friends. Also, I can't confirm this. The guy playing the boyfriend was older than me. That bothered me. You don't look like you're in high school, and that was just bugging me the entire time. I said that I liked the dynamic between Sydney and her daughter, so I do like Sydney and Tatum's relationship. However, there's moments in here where it's kind of replaying Sid's life a little bit, but through the perspective of Tatum. Why would you not be a little bit more careful considering who your mom is? There, in this world, there's movies, book, true crime documentaries, all these things about the shit that your mom went through, and you just don't care and you're not safe. She was pissing me off a little bit. I think that's pretty much all I could say without giving you too many spoilers. I think some of the highlights, Nev carried this movie. I liked the dynamic and what they did with Nev and Courtney Cox's character specifically. The kills were a shining factor in this movie, and creative and fun. And this movie is entertaining for sure. And I do think that you should watch it. Do I think that you should go to theaters to watch it? If you're a Scream fan, fuck yeah, I do. I think you'll enjoy a lot of the movie like I did. I enjoyed a lot of this movie. I do think that the third act will be a letdown for you. I'll let you come to that conclusion and tell me what you think about that. If you've already seen the movie, this would be a perfect time now to comment below. Do you think I'm tripping? You think I'm wilding out? Do you like the movie? What did you think of the third act? And now I'm going spoilers. Full spoilers, the things that really bothered me about the third act. Bringing Matthew Lillard in, he was hilarious in this movie. I think he did a great job. I'm really annoyed that they actually said, yeah, this is just AI. That bothered me a lot. This is the most nothing motive that they've ever done in all of the Scream movies. At least in Scream 3, they played it up as this long lost relative. Is it far-fetched? Sure. But did it make sense that he was upset? I guess so. This one made no sense. It was just a crazed fan and that's it. I hated every second of her reveal. I hated that it was just the guy from the mental institution that was helping her. It was just, what a letdown. Hands down, the worst third act of all the movies. I hate that they brought Matthew Lillard back, not to actually bring him back. They could have still played the deep fake AI thing without actually just falling into this is all AI and that's it. Here's what I thought that they were setting up to be the third act. And maybe because it didn't play out the way I thought it would, I hated what they did more. But genuinely, I think if I go in unbiased and just watch what I watch, I don't think that I'm tripping and saying that that was a terrible third act. Here's what I thought was going to happen. Here's what I think would have been a better end for this movie. So getting the FaceTime calls with Matthew Lillard, he added a lot to it. I would have liked him to actually still have been alive. It's a movie. You've been playing it up like he could come back this whole time. You could have pulled it off in a way that wouldn't have pissed the audience off. Lead the whole movie to believe, is he real? Is he not real? In the way that you did it. But at the end, make him real. There's a moment in this movie where Gale and Sydney finally sit down for an interview, and Gale starts really questioning Sydney in a way that felt predatory. And to me, that started feeling like, oh shit, maybe Gale's actually in on it this time. Hear me out. I know you might not like that, but hear me out. Imagine this. Gale, Stu, and the twins all in on it. Let me cook. Let me cook. Don't yell at me yet. Gale's career has gone so far off the rails that she's been fired and she's just looking for that light again. She's never got to be the final girl. She's never got to be the most important character. In Scream 6, they gave her kind of a moment where they talked about that, but they never really dwelled on the fact that she was never actually the main character of it, even when Nev was gone. They did mention a bunch of times that Nev wasn't a part of New York and she should have been there and where were you and all these things. They could have put that into her motive even more. Gale could have somehow found out where Stumacher was in his mental institution. They still could have used the deep fakes in order to use faces like the brother, Dewey, the mother, and everyone else that they use in order to bother her at the end of the third act with all the screens. They could have still done that with deep fakes and still made Stu be a part of it. When someone gets unmasked, could have been one of the twins. The twins were stabbed in ways that were clearly not lethal. The brother got stabbed in the arm, the sister got sliced in the stomach. They just fell over. Super simple. It seemed way too easy. Gale not being present for the third act at all when Sydney didn't even take her car. Sydney just ran out the house and couldn't get in the car. So she just ran, and then Gale didn't come with her car. Made no sense. It would have been the perfect way to put all these people in. And maybe they set it up that way. So I would think that, and that was the whole point of it. But I left feeling really disappointed that they didn't do that. I feel that could have been the big reveal. Ghostface masks off, one of the twins. Okay, Stu actually comes out. Doesn't even need to be in a Ghostface mask. It would be nice, but doesn't need to be. Hey, what's up, Sid? Starts talking to Sid all crazy. I always had a thing for you, Sid. All that shit. The other twin comes, pulls out Dad. That would have been the perfect time. Then they talk about how they're ready to be the next generation of Ghostface. After everything that they went through, they're ready to finally end it by killing Sidney Prescott. One more reveal. Gale comes out, and Gale tells the story about how she set this whole thing up. One, to stop the killings, because as long as Sidney's alive, the killings will never stop. Two, no one ever showed her the respect that she deserves, and it finally snapped her after she almost died and she lost Dewey, and every day she has to remember that she lost Dewey because of Sidney Prescott. Then she snapped. That's the third act I would have wanted. You give me that third act, I think this would have been a great movie. That would have saved the entire movie in my opinion. But no, instead you gave me the punk ass neighbor who meant nothing, and then two random Ghostface that also meant nothing to the story. I hated that third act so much. So with all that that being said, that's my thoughts about this movie. I wish I had more positive things to say about it because I am a huge Scream fan, but unfortunately, that's just where I'm at. You let me know in the comments if you feel any differently about the movie. Do you think I'm tripping? Do you think that my spoiler review where I rewrote the third act is worse, better? I don't know. Leave me your thoughts, and I'll see you for the next movie because I feel like I still need to process how bad they fumbled the end of this movie.